Previously on the Pocket Party Podcast, Darren started a party in your ear holes.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. Yeah. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to a Pocket Party. Pocket Party. Darren.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is happening? Yes, we are dropping another podcast. Pocket Party Podcast. I want to thank you guys for giving it a review. Go to iTunes, give a review, 5 stars. Let the world know how much you love this podcast. And hello, the one, the only, Devin Clark.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? What if I just randomly call people and they don't even know they're on a podcast? You're on a podcast.
That'd be a cool podcast. I like that. Like a surprise party podcast.
It's
Darren Carter, party starter.
Yeah. Just make random calls, just like a telemarketer. But next thing you know, but it would be really cool if I had like those Joe Rogan numbers where you're like your life could literally change overnight.
Oh yeah.
For the better. Yeah. You're going to do this podcast and be like, Darren, my life didn't change much.
Yeah, I'm still door dashing, Darren. What happened?
What the heck happened? You guys, this is a comedian that I've been following online, and then I got the pleasure of working with him in Texas. And dude, you're really, really, really funny. In fact, people were sending your videos to me, and that's how I first became aware of you. But I guess we may have met each other in Los Angeles before that. Yeah,
I think I ran into you in L.A. Probably some Ha-Ha's. Yeah, the Ha-Ha Comedy Cafe. Ha-Ha Cafe.
Yep.
No, North Hollywood. Yes. But yeah, I got to work with you in Dallas, and you're also very, very funny and killing it on TikTok and Instagram. And MySpace? I don't know.
Thank you. That's right, folks. Catch me. I know. I was always thinking about if you could make a list of all these things that not everyone's into, like, like I kill it on Truth Social. I'm on Getter. I'm on Vimeo. I'm killing it on Vimeo. And I still have a MySpace. My music account has 30,000. No, people are like, what about the normal stuff? Like, how are you on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram? Right. That's for the mainstream.
You remember Google Plus?
Oh yeah,
that was the thing. Like, I would have bet money that the Google Plus would have made it because it's Google, but they didn't make it.
Wow,
didn't survive.
That's true. Yeah. That kind of reminds me. You know what? That reminds me. I love that bit you do. If you want to. You don't have to do the whole bit, but I love the thing about how you worked at Yahoo.
Oh yes, yeah. Yeah, I worked at Yahoo for a while, and we weren't allowed to Google anything. That was not allowed. You can't even say Google.
That's hilarious.
Google was like the N-word. No saying it.
Yeah.
Say anything that even sounds like Google, and they were serious. But Yahoo is still kicking, I guess. It's still around.
Yeah, you guys had to say, I'm going to Yahoo that real quick.
Yeah.
Yahoo
this. It doesn't have the same ring as Google it.
Google
Yahoo it.
Yeah. Yahoo. I remember that.
Yes.
The Yahoo. So, so let me ask you, how did you, by the way, thank you for saying that I'm blowing up on TikTok, because when I worked with you, when was that? Was that the summer? Was it last summer? Maybe June?
Yes, I believe it was last summer. Yeah.
I don't think my TikTok was doing good back then, right? I don't think so. I don't think we even talked about it, or did we? Decent
numbers, but now you're in the millions of views now, though.
Yes, right? I'm in the millions of views club. Thank you for noticing. Yeah. And it's a trip. It's like, do you? First of all, let's how would we I don't want to. Let me see. What's the most views some of your videos have gotten? Do you remember your highest rank?
I did get 1 million on a Wonder Woman recap, but it's weird. They took it down. They said it was too graphic. Wonder Woman from the 70s.
Wow.
Had graphic content, so they took that one down. But I think Instagram, I got a Wang Wang video that's up to 700,000. It's doing all right.
Wow. But here's the thing. All your videos have lots of views and they're very entertaining and it's solid quality, you know? And
Thank you.
do you remember what it felt like to like that first video that just really took off for you?
No, I don't remember what it felt like because I was probably high at the time. I smoked a lot of weed.
Oh,
Weed is a big influence on these recaps.
Oh, wow.
But it felt good just to be like to share something that I like with the world, you know. That feels cool to be able to create something that other people like and find funny. And like Knight Rider, you know, I like that show and I can find other Knight Rider fans and we can talk about Knight Rider and it's cool.
That's cool. For people who haven't seen your videos yet, and you guys go check it out, I'll put the link below. Kind of tell them what you do. You recap I'll let you say it.
Okay, well, it's kind of like I do a parody of, you know how shows will do like when it comes on, it'll go previously on, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they'll recap it, but I'll do previous on and I'll just make up the story and change everything and make it funny, like, because Knight Rider's not a comedy, but it should be.
Yeah, previously.
Talking Trans Am. And the guy has an awesome job. He has a talking car, he wears a leather jacket, and he bangs lots of chicks every episode. But it's serious.
Yeah.
So in the recap, I'll just, change the storyline, the dialogue, add some disco music. I like disco. And have fun with it. Kind of try to keep it under 60 seconds. And then I do that with Star Trek, Star Wars, Knight Rider, Incredible Hulk, Wonder Woman, Bionic Man. I like to focus on the retro stuff from 70s and 80s. But I do Mandalorian, too, every now and then. That's a new show. And that's basically it. It could be kind of like Mystery Science Theater, if you remember that show.
Yeah.
With like riff tracks, but just more scripted and edited.
I love it because it's really brings me back to, my childhood and, growing up. And I think I'm a little older than you, but that's nice that you tapped into that genre of those decades,
Yeah. Yeah, they don't make them like that anymore. Those 80s shows.
Yeah.
Do you remember a show called Street Hawk?
Street Hawk. No, but if I saw it, I might be like, oh, I remember that.
Yeah. It was kind of like Knight Rider, except it's a dude on a motorcycle.
Oh.
Yeah. Motorcycle, it shoots missiles, he fights crime. And that's it. One season, because it wasn't as cool as a Talking Trans Am, but the name was cool, Street Hawk.
Yeah. See, there's that voice Devin does. I like that. Previously on Street Hawk.
Yeah. I got to get you to do the voice of Kit. I think it would be cool. Cool collaboration if you do the voice of Kit.
Oh, that'd be great. How would I do it? I'd have to watch more episodes to nail his voice. Like.
No, you do your version of it. Like maybe you're the party starter Kid. Like you're already starting to start parties.
Oh.
Like, hey kid, we gotta fight crime. You're just doing your own thing.
And that would be like, I'd be like, let's fight some crime.
Like get serious, kid.
I am being serious. I'm being real serious.
See, it writes itself.
Yeah, man. It's funny, especially nowadays with we have YouTube and you can just pull up any show and then I've been watching stuff on like all the free stuff. YouTube, Tubi.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one someone told me about the other, Pluto TV.
Yeah.
And
you can just pull up anything and watch it. It's pretty cool.
Pull up anything you can watch it, or if a lot of times I just want to watch clips. I'm not a binge watching kind of guy. I'm more like, I'm like, oh, let me edit some videos and get those out there, and because once you start getting a taste of what it's like to actually, put your career in your own hands and have it actually work, you know what I'm saying. You must know what I'm saying because, if you're
addictive.
it's addictive, and if you're just waiting for an audition, you're just waiting for a club owner to book. It's like, come on, But nowadays we have the tools in our hands. You could literally, as soon as this podcast is done, if you had 2 hours or whatever, however long it would take you could pull a video down, create it, write the script, edit it, put it out there, and then boom, next thing you know, that's the one that takes off, and people are like, when are you going to come to my town and perform?
Right. Yeah. I can't imagine what it must have been like in the 70s doing stand-up, how to promote your brand, right? Like there was no internet. You just you have to be on the ground throwing out flyers, I guess, to get people to your shows. And it must have been more difficult. It's a lot more easier now, but then there's more competition because everyone can do it. But it's still easy.
I know. I talked to a guy that was kind of, I don't know if he was here's what he said. I saw him backstage. I was at the Comedy Magic Club, and I go, dude, you're going viral now, man. You're like blowing up, like, and he was a comic that I want to say maybe 8 months ago. He followed me at the Laugh Factory and was a little nervous. He's like, "Whoa, I have to follow Darren Carter," but not to toot my own horn, but that's literally what he said, and I could see he was a little, whatever, and and I think he went up, and I thought he had a great set. He didn't, and he was like, But then it's just weird. The internet blew him up, and then this guy is touring everywhere. He probably has a, the big agent, and I'm, what I mean. I'm still. Still doing what I'm doing. But I when I saw him the other day, I go, dude, you're blowing up, man. You're going viral. And he really downplayed it. He was like, yeah, everybody's going viral. Almost,
not everybody.
I know. I'm like, dude, not everybody. Relax. It's like, that's a big deal.
Yeah. He sounds like a humble guy.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think he's very humble. I think that's what it is. I think he's very humble. And I love that because, how some people are, they get a little bit of success and they really let it go to them. He's probably a guy that's, I think after you get to a certain age and also after you've been doing it for a long time and you haven't had success, that's, I think, where the humbleness comes, perhaps. Unless, imagine if like you're 21 years old and you really took off. You might be humble, but you might not be. It might be like, well, I was, this is the way it's supposed to happen.
Yeah. It could go either way, I guess. You could, be humble about it, or it could go to your head. You can go nuts and get into trouble.
Yeah, exactly. At that age, you're just like, do you know what? Tell us the story, how things came about, like with the videos and going to Texas. So you were here during the pandemic in Los Angeles, like when everything got locked.
Yeah.
It was 3 years ago. It was exactly 3 years ago yesterday that they shut down the parks and the
oh wow,
the beaches, it was March 16th.
Wow, yeah, I moved to LA from Texas in March. 2019, right? I think it was like fall, and everything was cool. I was like winning contests and stuff, and getting up, and I was having a good time. And then it shut down in March 2020, and I was struggling, and I didn't have anything to do. Like there was no stage. And I started doing Zoom shows, and I didn't really like that. And then I remember I was smoking some weed, watching Bionic Woman, and I just started talking to myself, saying previously on and blah blah blah, and then just started recording it and started making them, and then people liked it, and I kept doing it because it was fun, and I kept making them better and better because I figured out what I wanted to do with it.
Yeah,
because the first one was a bit different. Like it was like the voice was it was different. It was kind of slower. The pace was slow, and I was able to, what's the word I'm looking for? Is like punch it up and tighten it up. That's the word I'm looking up. When you're working on a bit, you gotta tighten it up.
Yeah.
Same thing with those videos. I had to tighten it up and get those punchlines hitting harder and quicker and faster, and adding sound effects and just having fun. Like I like doing, because I went to film school and I know how to edit, and it was fun. Putting sound effects and redubbing fight scenes, and I like kung fu movies.
Oh, cool!
It would have spread my love of kung fu movies, Jackie Chan, Bruce, all that good stuff. Donnie Yen.
How do you edit your videos? Do you?
Oh, that's funny because I have an old ass MacBook Pro from 2008, and I edit with Final Cut Pro 7. Oh. And this thing gives me problems, man. Like sometimes it'll just freeze, I'll lose everything, have to start over. And so. Someday, if I can make it, I'll get me a brand new MacBook Pro, and I'll be really zooming these edits. But until then, I gotta go slow because the MacBook Pro is very slow. Yeah.
Yeah, I use the MacBook Pro, and then I do it all I use iMovie, and then iMovie because I have an Android phone, so I upload it to Dropbox, and then from Dropbox I download it to my phone, and then once it's on my phone, I use an app called InShot.
Yeah.
InShot, and that's what changes the dimensions. Like I'm able to put it in that TikTok, YouTube Shorts, for like 9:16 portrait mode, and then from there I'll add the little, like my name and then, follow and share or whatever, like the little maybe a couple of captions or whatever, and then from there I'll upload it everywhere.
Yeah, all these tools that we got to use. And why do you have an Android phone though? What's up with the iPhone? You got no iPhone?
You know what? I don't. I my first phone was a was a Android.
Yeah.
And then around 5 years ago, I got that Galaxy, and I love the camera. And then when I got my next, I love that. I know I have everything MacBook. I love everything Apple, but I love this Android, man. I got the Galaxy S21 Ultra, and it has like the dual camera, like front and back. So when I'm interviewing people, like I can film them and film myself, like the reactions. I can do it from the stage. I whip out the phone on stage. As I'm performing, the camera's on my face, but then you see the crowd cheering, and I just love this phone.
You can record at the same time? That's cool. Front and back?
Front and back.
I think the iPhones can do that.
Yeah, they call it director's mode. It's really cool. They call it the director's mode. I know. And I do like a video series with this other comedian named Fraser Smith. He's big out here in LA, and
I know Fraser Smith.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, he hosts all the shows, and he opens for Ken Jeong. They fly around on private planes and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Sweet.
I know. Yeah. It's hilarious but then sometimes he'll open for me, and then we'll be on Southwest and stuff. And I'll joke with them, But it's hilarious. They But yeah, we'll do.
Where's the private plane, Darren?
Where's the private plane? Well, I don't know. I guess I'm making private money tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Private money.
Yeah. So that's what I do with the editing tip. But were you? Did you have like during the did you have roommates and stuff when everything was shut down and LA was a ghost town, or?
Oh yeah, man. I was living in a house with like 8 other people. It's horrible. Like typical, like I guess struggling artist roommate.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Which normally
would paying like $1,200 for a room. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Which bad enough in like 2019. You're like, okay, we're all gonna make it, or some of us are gonna make it, or I gotta do what I gotta do. But then like when it got shut down, was it like little by little people like left and they're like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna. There's nothing. Why am I here? There's nothing open. There's no. Or was it all at once? Everyone left, or what was that like?
I think, because people didn't know how long it was gonna last. Like there was no. I remember I've been calling like, hey, when are the clubs going to open up? No one knew. So it was, people were just kind of waiting it out. And eventually, like, I don't know, I kind of moved out and was doing my own thing and trying to figure out where to go. Then I just moved to Texas because I remember I reached out to House of Comedy Phoenix because they were open.
Yeah. Oh, right? Yeah. How long?
And I started getting work out there. 2020. They were open like, not 20, what was it? Yeah, 2020 winter or fall. I reached out to them.
Wow.
Like, you guys are open? Fine, I'm going. I started getting booked at Tempe Improv. Gave me a spot, and I was getting work out there because LA was shut down. So I was like, cool. And then I found out Texas was still open. Like, well, I'm moving to where the work is. And then I just left.
Yeah, because they kept saying 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and then it just kept another 2 weeks, another 2 weeks, and then it's like, wow. I mean, we're from California, my wife and I, so we were lucky enough to stay on a farm, and then I'd come back to LA to take care of business or whatever, what little business I could take care of. And it was, and then I would start getting booked slowly but surely with these outdoor shows or other states. But the worst
drive-in shows, remember that?
Yeah, I know, you got to honk your horn if you think the comedians are funny. It's like, oh man, this one, I'll never forget. It was hilarious. This one show, this guy, it was the first outdoor show I did where they were in their cars, but it was actually kind of cool because they had about 20 people in lawn chairs that were, I don't know, maybe 30 feet from the stage, kind of spread out. So at least you had real people there. But I remember the guy was so everything, it goes against all your intuition. Like everything, you don't want people honking horns during your comedy show. So during that pandemic, they're like, no, you got to rethink it, reframe your thinking. It's a good thing when people are flashing their headlights and honking their horn. That means they like you. It's like, what? Like, this is weird. Like, no, distraction is the enemy of comedy. Come on, man. But I remember this comedian was on stage and he was like, he kind of, he has a very flamboyant way of talking, and he goes, hello, everyone. And the crowd's like, beep, beep. And he goes, I'm married. And they're like, beep, beep. And then he goes, to a woman. And when he goes, I'm married, and then he paused and he goes, to a woman, the crowd was like, beep, beep, honk, honk, ooga, ooga. Like they were like, almost like, oh boy. Like,
Somebody had a horn from the 40s, a ooga?
Yeah, a ooga. Yeah.
Nice.
I know, man. It was
Did you do Zoom shows as well?
Yeah, I did some Zoom shows. The first one was the worst one. That was the guy was he's like, let's do a Zoom show. And he's like, it's going to be for some nurses and we'll donate some money. You get some money for it. But nobody donated. I didn't make anything. And then there was no nurses. There was like 5 people. I think 4 of them were the other comics. And there was one kid eating cereal. Yeah. And he was like a 12-year-old. And he's like eating cereal. And his mom comes up behind him. She's like, what you doing? And I'm sitting there doing married jokes to like, wrong demographic. I'm like, so my wife.
Why are you talking to my child?
Exactly. I'm Chris Hansen. Yeah. Okay. Would you like some cupcakes, some cookies?
Yeah. The Zoom version of To Catch a Predator. That was
I know. I was booked to do a show. But yeah, so that was like, I remember just shutting the laptop going, gosh, that was weird. Good night, everyone. And you just shut, because I didn't know how to turn it out or exit. So I just shut the laptop.
Yeah.
And then I'm like crawling around the floor,
like the camera's off.
Yeah, I'm like crawling around, like unplugging it, like okay, just doing a hard set, like power down, like I remember going, man, that was embarrassing. I'm like, I'm glad no one saw that, and then I got a little bit better at it. You realize like, oh, here's what you do. First of all, I learned how to make a little set list. You just kind of, after that, it seemed like there was more people on the Zoom thing, so I could hear the laughter and connect with the people, and I
remember one time I did a Zoom show, and there were 2 people on the Zoom wearing face masks. I was like, God damn, wearing the face mask.
Hey, one time I did one for a pretty good amount of money, like, and it was right when things were opening, but then things were kind of still. And there was a guy that's a pretty popular TikToker, and he booked me, and he was going to pay pretty good money. And I was sort of like wanting to chicken out, but I thought, that money's pretty good. And I only had to do like, I think maybe like 15 minutes. And I'm like, which is the max. Okay. You don't want to do any longer on Zoom. I mean, I think the first 5 you kind of riff, hey, what do you do? And then the next 8 minutes you do like material, and then you kind of wind up with some more riffing is what I found my formula, like little hello, how are you? A little riffing, and then material, and then a little riffing at the end. But so I ended up doing it on my phone on Zoom, and I remember I was at because I didn't want to, because at the time I think my wife and son were home, and I'm like, I don't want to be doing stand-up comedy like in the kitchen, like it's weird, like they're doing they're trying to do their thing, and I'm over here, hey everybody, what's the deal? I'm like, it's gonna be weird. So I was like, let me. So I remember going to a Whole Foods parking lot, and I knew this one parking space I could like back up and have, be surrounded by kind of like a couple walls. That way no strangers are like, what the hell's that guy doing in his car? And the lighting was really good. And I brought my little tripod, put it on the phone, and I remember like just jump, when it was my time to do comedy, I went in there and it went great. And he was, the TikToker guy was a really good host. Like he was laughing at all the right spots, and the other performers were laughing, like I don't know if it was courtesy laughs or what, or maybe I was the only one that was actually doing stand-up comedy. Like the rest were kind of like personality types. Like one guy was like, because I was watching some of the show. Like one guy was like kind of like cooking in the kitchen, sort of cracking jokes, and I was the only one that was actually doing like material. And I was thinking, this is either going to go really bad for me or good, because I'm going to look, you know what I mean? I'm going to look like a relic. Like, what's this guy doing prepared material for? But
Yep. I'm just glad it's over. I'm glad that whole pandemic thing is over. I think it is over, right?
Yeah,
it feels like it is.
It feels like it is. It must really feel like it is for Texas.
Yes. Yeah, I haven't seen a face mask in a long time.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. I always say my heart goes out to the people that do wear it. It's like, whatever. But at the same time, it bums me out. It makes me a little sad. So I was at the mall about a month ago when it rained really hard in LA, and we were going to go hiking, and it was raining. I'm like, damn it. So let's just go to the mall. It's closed. That's like hiking kind of, so. Yep. So I took my son, and I saw somebody with a mask, and I said, every time I see someone wearing a mask, I want to punch you in the arm. And so he's like, it's on. Then he puts on his glasses, and then, dude, his head was on a swivel, and he's looking around. He's like, lady, it sees candy, pop. And I'm like, three Asians on an escalator, pop, pop, pop. He's like, Dad, right there, where? He goes, mannequin, boom. I'm like, mannequins don't count. And then,
Yeah.
and it was fun. It kind of reframed my thinking. So then I got then I got excited to see, because at first I was like, man, I'm still seeing masks. I don't like all these people wearing masks. But then once you start playing a game, you're like, you start looking around and you're like, wow, nobody's really wearing a mask. I'm like, I only have like 4 points right now. Like I need to,
Yep. Oh, wow.
For the joke, I say, because I told that story a couple times on stage. For the joke, I say, all right, because at one point I say, I had 11. My score was 11. He had 31. I go, okay, we're going to take a pause. I'm going to take you to Whole Foods in West Hollywood. You're going to leave your glasses in the car, okay, pal? I go, next thing you know, I won 300 to 31. Yeah.
Yep.
Previously, I'm punching my son. No.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, but
do you remember that show, Fringe?
No.
Used to come on Fox.
I don't remember Fringe.
It was kind of like when X-Files ended, it was kind of like a replacement for X-Files because it was a sci-fi show about the FBI investigating fringe events. It was most sci-fi when X-Files was kind of like supernatural as well.
Oh.
But I'm kind of rewatching that because I kind of forgot it. But it's a good show. So I recommend it if you like sci-fi.
Fringe.
It's a very good sci-fi show.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking up right now. It's from 2008 to 2013.
Yeah, 5 seasons.
Oh, that's good. That's good when you can get into a show and it actually has some seasons and episodes,
Yeah, it deals with parallel universes, which is a cool concept to think of.
Oh, Leonard Nimoy was on there.
Dude, yeah, he's really good, really cool character on that show. Plays William Bell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's great. The great Leonard Nimoy, Spock.
Yeah, he's great, man. Did you, now, speaking of another old show, did you ever get into Rockford Files?
No, but I am aware of it. I think it's like a detective show, right?
Yeah, I'm Jim Rockford. Yeah, that's another one that's really good. It's, yeah, I remember watching it on Netflix. Like, I was back when I used to really did binge watch things. I remember, I'd watch 2 episodes in a row. It was one of those shows for me that was I liked it as a kid, but it was annoying because it was on all the time. And you're like, what else is on? This is back before you could just pull anything else up. So you were just, you kind of only could watch what was on. And
was he a police detective or a private eye?
He was a private investigator, played by James Garner. And he was great. And every episode, it reminds me of like they must have had bigger budgets. It was like a little mini movie.
Ah.
It was really good.
That's what they're doing with Poker Face, which is really hot right now. It's a great show. Poker Face.
Oh,
heard about it?
Yeah, I have it. Is it kind of like Columbo?
Yes.
Hate to bother you, man, but I have something. Yeah.
Yeah. If Columbo was like a hot redhead.
Yeah.
Natasha Lyonne. She's so good. Such a good show.
I saw like a comparison on TikTok between the two shows yesterday. I saw this clip and it's really good. It was really good. They were showing like this scene was basically a duplicate of this other scene, and she's like, it wasn't. I listened to the recording, and it wasn't what I heard in the background. It's what I didn't hear in the background. And they were like, "What do you mean?" Well, what I mean, and then just right then you hear the cuckoo clock go cuckoo, 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 and she's like, "Didn't hear that." And the guy has this guilty look on his face, like, like, oh, they're on to me,
They
and
did
then
the same thing on Columbo.
Yeah, they changed a little, Oh yeah, Columbo was a cuckoo clock. The modern day times, it was a guy. I think he was like a blacksmith or something, and he was in a barn, and he goes, "What do you mean?" And then right at that moment, you heard a train go by, woo, like that. So it's kind of like,
yes.
Right.
I think that was the episode with Lil Rel Howery was on it.
Oh, maybe
they have really big guest stars.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to have to. I had a job where I had to do quality control, and I had to watch a lot of Columbo episodes before they uploaded them to iTunes. I had to make sure there was no, video, audio dropouts, make sure the subtitles were cool. And I got into Columbo and Peter Falk and how awesome he was in that character, and the music was good, and it was like he never had a gun.
Oh, wow.
He was investigating murderers, and he never carried a weapon.
Wow. That'd be kind of scary, right? You have to roll up on some people. It's like they have weapons. Well, hey, here's what Jim Rockford did on Rockford Files. There was this one scene where he goes into the bad guy's going to come in and beat him up, and so he hides in the men's room. But he's such a smart guy. he takes all the pink bathroom soap, the liquid soap, and breaks it off and spills it all over the floor. So the guy comes, he goes, "Come on!" So when the bad guy comes in, whoop, he slips, boom, falls on his ass, and Jim Rockford's able to escape and get out of there.
Very smart. I wouldn't have thought of that.
I know. After I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. No, last night I went and saw Scream 6. You know the Scream movies?
Oh yeah. Now, have you seen all the other Screams?
I may have missed the last two, but I saw the ones from, what was it, the 90s when it came out? Yeah, the original.
Because I wonder if you have to watch all of them to get it. And I was also going to ask, like, does this one hold up, or does each movie have its own thing, or did they get better as time has gone by, or worse?
Well, this one, it references all the Scream movies, so I was kind of lost because it goes into depth more than any other movie sequel I've ever seen. Go back to the other one.
Oh wow!
And it was pretty violent. It's like the most stabbings I've ever seen in a movie. People are getting stabbed dozens of times.
Wow!
And I was like, this is the graphics. I mean, not graphics, but the special effects were very good. Like practical effects. It really looks like someone was really getting murdered. It looked like a long snuff film. It was pretty graphic.
Well, it says 90% of the people liked it, so there's something
Yeah.
like that. Right there, when you described it, I wouldn't be into it. I'm like, I don't want to see all that. Like, I just,
that's not really my thing. I was trying to figure out who the killer was, and I couldn't guess. It kept me guessing who the killer was, and I was surprised at the end. So I recommend it if you like mysteries, but it's more of a slasher mystery thriller.
Yeah.
So, but the violence is turned up to 11 for sure. It's very violent.
Oh, do you want to hear some? Do you want to hear a couple? Well, you already saw it, so I was going to tell you a spoiler alert, but
okay. For what? Scream 6?
Yeah, let's see. Sam realizes her gun is empty, so she and Wayne charge at each other, but he completely disregards the gun in his hand he has pointed at her.
Yes, dude.
Okay.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
He starts running at her, pointing the gun at her, doesn't fire. But I don't know why. He's a cop too. I shouldn't. That was a spoiler alert.
Yeah. He's a.
There was some part of like, why did they do that? There was some weird choices made, but it kind of makes sense when it's revealed at the end.
When did you start stand-up comedy?
Oh God, I think it was 08 or 09. It's been a long time.
08 or 09. And then was the internet was around. I mean, as far as like social media and stuff like right? Like there was something around back then. So you could
I didn't tell people I was doing stand up till much later. Like I wasn't on internet cuz like I was new, so I didn't want to post my stuff cuz I sucked. You know, a lot of people when they start out, they're all about posting their new stuff, but they're not good yet. So I waited. I was like in the closet on stand up for a very long time.
People are like, "You're funny." You're like, what do you mean I'm funny?" Yeah.
It took a long time for me to tell people what I was doing. It was a secret.
That was funny. Like, see, now when I started like 1989. So 1989, 1990 back then. 1990 was my first, big paid gig, opening act on the road, out of town, that whole thing, staying at a hotel, all that kind of stuff. Which coincidentally, I had to pay for the hotel myself. So it was,
As the headliner?
No, I was an opening act. So I was like, back then it was like they had the MC. That's what I was. I was the MC. They had the MC, the opener, the feature, the headliner. And I think I got $350.
Okay.
And I remember like another comedian had done the gig 2 weeks before that I knew from Fresno. We were both from Fresno, and the gig was in Ventura, California. And he goes, hey, here's a hot tip. See, it's like when you get to town, he goes, go find a phone book because in the back of the phone book there'll be coupons for the La Quinta Inn. And then and you can stay there for whatever, like $30 a night or $40 a night. So I did what he said.
Tip.
Yeah, I did exactly what he said. This is before hotels.com or whatever. They had phone books. Yeah. And I got to town. And that was the first time I realized like you got to learn to love yourself, man, and and learn to be alone but not lonely. Learn to have that solitude because I remember doing my set, and then the next morning I wake up and I went down to the jacuzzi and I'm like, yeah, I'm living the life. I'm looking at palm trees and sun because it's right there on the beach. But I'm in the hot tub by myself, like I'm alone. Like, ooh, okay,
Yeah, well, were you an only child, brothers and sisters?
I had two sisters, but they were older, and so I was kind of used to being by myself, but at the same time I was very like sheltered. So that was a big like journey for me to figure out how to get there, how to I was actually underage. I wasn't even 21 yet, and I remember thinking like, I don't want the club owner to, because afterwards he's like, hey, you should go down to Broadway Street. That's for the party. And I'm thinking, I can't get in, so I just went back to the hotel.
Probably had hair too, right? Full head of hair.
Oh yeah, full head of hair, looking like Rick Astley back then.
Which, never want to give you up.
Never gonna say together forever. Yeah. It was like.
I'm an only child. So I'm more comfortable by myself than with other people. I prefer.
And that's good because you don't have to deal with, like, my son's an only child, and I can see it in him too. He plays multi musical instruments, and he puts his, you know what I mean. He's not into like group think, like I have to follow the pack and be, I love it. I love that. I love that he can be, creative and do his own thing, and he hit like. Yeah. He's 15. When he was, I want to say 13, he put up a music video. He put up one of his piano tutorials, and dude, it got over 2 million views. It got 1 million views, and then it got 2 million, and now it has 2 point something on YouTube.
Wow, it was a piano tutorial teaching people how to play the piano.
Basically, but the very final punchline at the end was, speaking of Rick Astley, he did the "You Got Rickrolled" video, because it was like. You go like this, ding, 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 3 times, and then F sharp, D, whatever it was, and then the words on the screen go, now put it all together, and then it goes, do 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 do, and it goes, congratulations, you just got rickrolled.
Nice.
Yeah, never gonna give you up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's when I started, and like you said, I'm so happy that they didn't have cell phones and cameras that were, readily available back then, because so I don't have all this terrible footage that I felt tempted to upload. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Frenetic energy that I had, and bad jokes, and just wild ideas, like. Just weird, wacky stuff. Like I remember thinking this will be like, I was at this one club, and there was an exit door to the right of the stage. And then there was an exit door to the left of the stage. And I thought, this will be really funny. Like, I ran off stage to the right, ran around the entire building, and entered to the next, the other. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm back. And, like, nobody laughed, and it was just weird. And
that's a big swing on a joke right there.
Yeah. And I asked my friend, I go, what were people doing when they go, they were just kind of started talking. They didn't really know what was happening. Yeah, like all those moments are gone, or back when I used to use crazy props, I used to, I remember, like, what was one of the props I did? Back then they were showing a lot of Charles Manson documentaries and TV shows and Geraldo interviews, and so he was kind of in the zeitgeist back then. So I remember taking I made a Charles Manson mask just by printing out a picture and, little mask that you'd make. And I was like, this is Charles Manson on the dating game. And then I would pretend to be Charles Manson. And then I this is so stupid. I had a squirting camera that would squirt water that I rigged behind the mouth. So then it would like spit out like at the audience. And it was just really stupid, man. I mean, come on. It was from the mind of a 19-year-old.
Just trying stuff,
Just trying stuff, but none of it's out there. I don't even know I'm bringing it up on this podcast. Like, yeah.
Lost footage forever. It's gone.
Yeah.
You had to be there to see it.
That's right, folks. No, I have a couple. Actually, I do have some footage from back then, but I actually should probably see now. I could probably upload it. Now it'd be like, all right, I have this, but at the,
TikTok.
Oh yeah. TikTok. Yeah. I put up one of my first TV appearances from 96. That was in 96. I was on Showtime. and Paul Rodriguez
Wow.
was the host, and he brought me on. And actually, we filmed it in San Antonio. It was called the Latino Laugh Festival. And I'm not Latino, but I talked about growing up in Fresno, California, and the producer loved what I was talking about, and they flew a lot of us out there, and we did the festival, and it was cool. But
That's awesome. Like 6 years in, you're on TV.
You know
That's
what?
awesome.
I know. I think about that. 6 years in, I was on TV, and then from that, I got a big time manager and agent, and you start getting in, other TV shows. There was a lot more cable shows back then for stand up, so you could be on cable. And if you could get in a little, other like I did a lot of Latino stuff, and like the Latino Laugh Festival or Funny as Fun, like all these shows that were, on these now. And then I did BET's Comic View. I don't know, that was a thing back then. Did you ever?
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, Comic View, and they would run the heck out of it. And then they'd chop it up and be like, guys who do impressions, and then you'd be on that or the best of, or in my case, it'd be like the white guys or whatever. But it was great because they run the heck out of it, and people would be channel surfing, and you could get.
Yeah, is it still on? Is Comic View still on?
No, it's not on anymore. It's but you would get recognized, like, and that would, man, it was awesome, especially if you.
Yeah, millions of people see it. Yeah.
Yeah,
but it's probably on the internet.
Yeah, I've tried to find some of my episodes. I don't know. Maybe I'm sure they'll pop up eventually. Everything pops up on
You search YouTube?
I have. I've typed in my name, Darren. If you find it, let me know, because I feel like you could probably find it. Okay.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Darren Carter, previously on Comic View. Yeah. How's the Texas scene? I know a lot of comedians have moved there. It seems like Texas has really blown up during this, like the great.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like during the pandemic, Rogan left, right? He went to Austin.
Oh yeah, brought Tom Segura and a lot of other people there.
Yeah, there was a huge migration of LA comics to Austin. I really like it out here in the DFW, the Dallas-Fort Worth scene. There's got a lot of clubs. There's a big market. The audiences are really good. They come out and they like to buy tickets and see shows. So I'm happy out here. Yeah, no complaints.
Do you ever go to do you go to Austin? Are you going to make a plan to go check out the Mothership Comedy Club?
Oh, yes, maybe this summer I would like to get out there. I know a couple of guys out there who might give me some spots, so I'll reach out and see if I can get some work out there. But other than that, I'll probably be staying in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Sometimes I go to Oklahoma Arkansas to the Grove. I'll be there in April, and then but yeah, I don't do too much traveling. I like to keep it in DFW.
Oh yeah, that's good, man. And then you and I will be doing a show together at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood on a Sunday night. One of the hottest shows in the country. It's called Chocolate Sundays, Laugh Factory, April 16th.
I'm excited. April 16th. I haven't been to LA in years, so I'm looking forward to it.
And people like you. They miss you, right? What's that?
Hitting up those dispensaries. Yes.
Yeah. Because I remember, I think you told me you were running back in the day with Justin Hires and a few other of these guys that have, kind of blown up and got on TV and stuff. And when I saw Justin, I told him, and he goes, "Oh man," he goes, "He's funny, man. He's funny. He's a good dude." So I'm sure you'll come back with it'll be nice to see how everything has changed or improved or.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff I miss in LA. I missed the weather, of course. And there's a restaurant called Sizzlers. I miss that. They don't have it in Texas. I miss Malibu chicken at Sizzlers.
Oh, wow.
So I'll probably hit that up as soon as I arrive, I'll go straight to Sizzlers and then to Laugh Factory.
There's a famous Sizzler that even Anthony Bourdain did a show on. It's the one on Wilshire in Koreatown.
Really? Wait, I think that one's closed. Yeah, that one's gone, dude.
Oh, is it gone? Because the one in Burbank's gone also.
Yeah, for some reason, they're all closing, so I need to get there quick.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
Dude, that's like me out of business. That's like me with certain clothes. Like I had this one pair of jeans I loved, and I'm like, they don't make these jeans anymore. What the fudge, man? Like,
yeah. It's like I watched a lot of Seinfeld. Did you watch Seinfeld?
Yeah.
There was an episode where Elaine, they didn't make her birth control anymore, the sponge, and she was trying to buy all the sponges. It reminded, she had to find a guy who was sponge worthy.
Oh,
It was a
that's
good
funny.
episode.
The sponge.
Anyway.
That just sounds kind of gross when you think about what that sponge is sponging up. It's like
Explain it. What does it do? I don't know. What happens?
well, the way sponges work is. No. Hey, by the way, which Sizzler? I'm going to see if it's still open. Which one do you plan on going to? Do you have any idea? Torrance?
Okay, Hollywood. It's on. It might be on Hollywood Boulevard. There's one in Hollywood. If it's still there. Wait a minute. Actually, I think that one's gone too. I'll have to Google it. I have to find which one is the.
Oh, you said Google it. You said Google it.
I'll have to Yahoo it. I got to find the last Sizzler.
Oh, there's one in
video.
There's one in Van Nuys. No promises on how the neighborhood is though.
Oh yeah, I know what that is. The Valley. I used to live in the Valley. I was in.
That's a 1-star Sizzler. It says. Oh, they're actually open. It says they're open till 10.
Okay, that's where I'll be, folks. I'll be performing at the last Sizzler in Van Nuys.
That's hilarious, man.
I used to live in Northridge by CSUN.
Oh, that's a good area. I love Northridge. I used to go to a boxing gym over there. There's a big mall and everything over there.
Yeah, I forget the name of that mall, but I saw 300 at that theater at AMC there. Remember the movie 300?
Yeah.
Was it 300? No, I'm sorry. Mad Max. Fury Road. That's what I saw there. That shit was amazing.
Fury Road.
Yes. Yeah. And see if you can find out why all the Sizzlers are closing.
Yeah, we'll do a podcast on that. We'll do a deep dive. But Devin, it's great to have you on the show, man. Thanks for taking a small part of your day.
Yes.
Where can
Thanks
people?
For having me. This is fun.
Let me see. Let's end this with. I was gonna say where can people find you, but I'll put the links below. What was my son? Do you have any advice on this? My son's in 9th grade, but they've been having them practice filling out like job applications, just to kind of get a feeling of it. And it made me think about my first few jobs. Do you have any recommendations on entry level like first jobs? Like, did you ever have a job that you did early on that you're like that was actually pretty good, or that was actually pretty? I don't know.
You could probably guess what my first job was. Guess where I worked for my first job in high school.
Not Sizzler, because you still love the food. Or maybe it is.
No. Blockbuster Video, sir.
Oh,
that was my first job.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I'll have my son look into the local Blockbusters. Hey, AusTheBassBoss.
You can't get a job at a video store these days. I don't think they exist anymore. But I'd say I don't know if I could talk to myself as a young kid, I'd say to go to find a job as an auto mechanic because you can always get work fixing cars.
That's true. That is true. I although I picture if someone was trained in auto mechanics in the 70s or 80s, and then everything now is all computers, are like, I don't know what the hell's going on. But there's got to be some basic auto stuff you can do.
Definitely. Put on brakes, that kind of stuff, brake pads, changing alternate, replacing stuff. But yeah, like cars like Teslas or computers basically, but I don't know how to work on those. But that'd be a good job as well if you get a job at Tesla.
Yeah, I might tell him, son, here's the choices. You either learn how to work on Teslas, or you get a job at Blockbuster, which I don't know if there's one near us, or Sizzler. We'll have you.
Oh, also astronaut. That's a good one. Astronaut.
That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. Did you?
The future is space. Yeah.
I think you may have joked about DoorDash. Did you ever do DoorDash, and is that something you'd recommend, like delivering food to people?
Yeah, because it's so convenient. I mean, you can work when you want to work. Like if they had this in high school, I probably wouldn't have been at Blockbuster. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think being driving people around might be kind of a little dangerous, kind of weird. You don't know who's in the car, dangerous. But
especially for ladies, I wouldn't recommend it. But food is way safe. Food is not going to shoot you in the back of the head. You don't have to worry about food attacking you in the car. It's a burrito. You just got to take it where it needs to go. But Uber, Lyft, people are drunk. You're picking up drunk people at the club.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
No.
Do you remember the first time you took an Uber or Lyft and what you were thinking?
I do not remember my first Uber trip.
I don't remember my first either. I do remember some of the early ones where I was still thinking it was a little weird, like, like I'm getting into a stranger's car. But then, I remember sitting in the front seat, not knowing they prefer you to sit in the back. In the back,
You're in the front.
Yeah, I was like, man, how do I move the seat back? And they were like, kind of irritated at me. I could tell they were like, you know what? Most people don't usually sit there, but there should be a lever. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to sit up here. And I had a pizza also. I had a pizza. So I had a pizza in my lap, and then the guy he kept commenting about how good the pizza smelled, and he's heard good things about that place. And I knew he was basically kind of hinting around, could he have a slice?
I'm very hungry. Could I?
Yeah, he was like, what's it look like? Because he goes, how's it look? And I go,
how does it look?
And so like I opened the box, and he goes, oh yeah, man, that looks really, really good. And it was an extra large pizza, and I was on my way to a Halloween party, like to meet my wife and family. So I thought, there's no way I can show up with a missing pizza slice. Like it's like, like the pizza looked like Pac-Man, like.
Yeah. I'll let me say, what does it look like? Like he's never seen a pizza before.
Yeah, he was like, what's it look like?
What do you think it's gonna look like?
I know. Anyways,
you open it up, it's just a gun. That's not a pizza. It's a gun. That's right.
That's right. You're on to me. Exactly. He's not trusting me, but.
Right.
We'll say hello to everyone. I'll see you at the Laugh Factory, and I will see you in Texas. Yeah. I'm going to be there in June. I'm going to be at TK's this June.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
awesome. Okay.
We'll have some laughs. Hopefully, you'll be on the show. I'm there the 8th through the 10th at TK's in where is that? Addison, Texas, or Arlington, Texas,
Dallas borderline. One of those areas. Addison, I think, is the actual name of the city.
Yeah, Addison. I know it's something like that, but. All right, Devin. Yep. Hey, have a great rest of your day, and with a little voiceover, giving a shout out to the listeners of the Pocket Party podcast, if you will.
Oh, okay. Two voiceovers. Well, thanks for having me on the show, Pocket Party podcast listeners. This has been fun talking to Darren. Very easy, conversational, full of laughs. So follow me on Instagram, Devin Clark Comedy. All right.
Love it, man. Thank you. Previously
on Blockbuster Video.
Exactly. All right, man. Hey, let me know how Sizzler goes. I'll catch you later.
Okay.
Bye. Well, look at you. You made it all the way through, huh? Pocket Party Podcast. That was a fun episode. You guys go check out his social media, Devin Clark Comedy. That guy's really good, and he really hones in on that voice and does that previously on Night Rider, and you'll get a real good kick out of it. But all right, guys, like I said, if you can give us a 5-star review on iTunes, share the episode, tell your friends. The best word is word of mouth, and go over to my YouTube channel and give some of my videos some thumbs up and some comments just to flood that algorithm and help us out. All right, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to the Pocket Party.